Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans. What we do around here, is bring about pro wrestling related content, old school, new school, all points in between. We do that in a review format most of the time. I do want to get back to interviews this year, but who knows what my schedule is going to hold in that regard. But this is the WCW Saturday Night 9:15 90 edition, featuring an opening promo by Sid Vicious regarding his match with the NWA champion Sting at Halloween Havoc. Basically, Sid says that he is going to be the master and the ruler of the world and take care of Sting once and for all. Doesn't really care one way or the other about what's there. Also, Bob Caudle hosts a wrestling wrap-up segment in which he reveals the footage of Gary Michael Capetic conducting a interview with Ric Flair, during which Flair basically says to Doom that they don't belong where he is. They are holding the tag team championships, especially not the Horsemen are not going to be the ones to unrest or unseat Doom. Flair and Anderson then cut a promo in which they set their sights on the tag team titles, including Jim Ross conducting a backstage interview with Sting regarding the Black Scorpion, during which the previous week's vignette of Scorpion aired, also featuring footage from Clash of the Champion, in which Stan Hansen attacked Lex Luger, the U.S. champion, and a match with Ric Flair. Promos air there. And then we kind of go to a enhancement match, as it were. Rick and Scott Steiner defeating James Solomon and Jeff Stone. 90 seconds when Rick pins Stone after belly-to-belly suplex off the middle turnbuckle. Prior to the bout, Scott gives a ringside fan one of the Steiners' t-shirts, and during the bout, Cornette cuts an insert promo claiming that Eaton and Lane hadn't received a rematch since losing the tag team titles. Steiners will, according to Cornette, eventually lose the tag team championships, as it were, and ultimately Rick lays a Steiner t-shirt over Stone before pinning him. Punch, kick, bulldog, and ultimately that overhead suplex is all that is needed there. Then we go the NWA Tag Team Champions Doom with Teddy Long defeating Pat Rose and Reno Riggins. 2 minutes 40 seconds. Reed pins Rose following a shoulder block off the top. Simmons and Reed both are hitting a bunch of punches. A couple clotheslines along the way. Spinebuster by Simmons, and ultimately the shoulder block off the top by Reed. Reed and Simmons super dominant in that situation. And ultimately they continue to be dominant NWA Tag Team Champions. Doom really coming out of nowhere at the time. Terry Taylor, who is back to the promotion pretty quickly. Terry Taylor defeats Death Row with a 5-arm. 2 minutes, 29 seconds. During the bout, Taylor cuts an insert promo on his return to the NWA and how he's excited about that return. Terry Taylor, very basic arm bars, arm locks, body slams, and again, that leaping 5-arm knockout blow for Terry Taylor is certainly the deciding factor in the contest. Dan Spivey is part of the Running the Gauntlet deal here. The first match that's actually worth seeing on the program, Brian Pillman defeating Buddy Landel, 426, with the momentum of a crossbody by Pillman. First puts Landel on top, but then Pillman rolls through, and ultimately gets things going in his direction. During a pre-match stipulation, Pillman advances in the Running of the Gauntlet round 2, or next round. Pillman and Landel at this point do have a reasonably, I guess we kind of say, adversarial, albeit good for Pillman nature here. And again, Brian Pillman having a good run of time there. The nature of things is that Pillman basically is pretty aggressive with Landel. Landel tries to cheat all along the way. Pillman really not having anything to do with that. Some hip tosses, hip locks, and the like, and ultimately super basic stuff. Pillman stays on the leg. For a match that's 426, there's a good story, little mini story being told. Landel is in complete control of things for the majority of times, but the roll through on the crossbody leads to Pillman getting the victory, and ultimately that victory leads Pillman forward in the nature of the Running of the Gauntlet series, which still is a concept I don't fully understand. Then we go to the Wild-Eyed Southern Boys, otherwise known. The State Patrol, which is James Earl Wright and Buddy Lee Parker. Parker, of course, is the guy who ends up running the nature of the power plant eventually. But anyway, in any event, Wendell Cooley and his tag team partner are here. Super basic match. Of course, Cooley's tag team partner in this particular run is none other than not Dan Spivey, but Alan Iron Eagle, defeating them, the two of them in 504. Cooley pins right after kick to the face. Super basic babyface match, as it were. Nothing to necessarily write home about, nor is it something to really be concerned about as a long-term match plan. Wendell Cooley doesn't seem to really be around all that long, maybe a few more months, but super simple match. Alan Iron Eagle eventually gets into it with the Freebirds, as it were, and that angle comes in the next few months here. Then we move to Tim Horner defeating Snake Watson with a roll-up bridge in 2 minutes, 22 seconds. World champion Sting joins on commentary for the match to speak about the Black Scorpion, kind of taking away from the Horner deal. Horner, of course, a Georgia standout. Horner is a guy who ultimately is, arm bars, arm locks, body slams, and the like. Looked like they were going to give him a push at the time. Never really comes much into that push that a lot of people are expecting, but at the same time, Tim Horner hits the bridging pinning combination, which ultimately leads to a victory for him. Then we go to Dan Spivey against Rick Ford. Rick Ford, a regular enhancement talent at the time. Powerbomb 124. Jim Ross conducts an interview with Spivey regarding his match the following night with Brian Pillman on the main event as part of the gauntlet. Spivey, very punch kick, almost Bruiser Brody or Stan Hansen-like at the time. Spivey is here for probably close to the remainder of 1990 after the Skyscrapers thing, but it doesn't end too well for him in terms of he ends up going back to Japan before doing the Waylon Mercy thing. But anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.